confirmation of our semi-final lineup. I wonder how many people foresaw that would be France against Morocco, and despite the fact that Croatia were finalists 4 years ago, probably not too many people suggesting that they might be in it again. Could well be another France-Croatia final as it was back in 2018. Oh, what a game. We heard George and Ronnie feeling sorry for the England players. They did throw everything at this, didn't they? Despite the fact that they were, as you said, scared in the opening 15-20 minutes.
They came out with a better side, definitely. Played some good football, were attacking, looked comfortable in possession, going forward well, getting bodies forward, nullified the threat of Mbappe and Dembele. Second half, Griezmann didn't have the influence he had in the first half either. They really came out and showed what a good side they can be. Then the goal kind of goes against the run of play, and then they were just chasing after that. And to get the penalty and to miss it the way they did, and for Harry Kane to miss it, I can't imagine what's going to be going through his head. But of all players, you wouldn't have expected him to miss it. So yeah, huge moment for France. France are a fantastic team as well.
And just a reminder that it's 60 years since the team won back-to-back World Cups. It was Brazil back in 1962. Are France looking good for you, Didi, on the back of that performance?
They didn't look that good today because I think England was a better side. And Ronnie said they played well in the second half, England. I think after about 15 minutes there was only one team playing. They were proactive, they created chances. England got the 2 penalties, unfortunately missed one. Yeah, on today's showing, if you take Mbappe out of the game, which they did, Walker did a job on him. There wasn't much else. Dembele was disappointing. Coman gave that free kick away towards the end of the game. Yeah, Giroud got that goal, but obviously it took a deflection. I think he was a bit fortunate with it. They are a good side, they're experienced side. What I like about them, they never panic. They know they're World Cup winners, or most of them are World Cup winners, and they know if they need a goal, somehow they can force a goal. I think that gives them an edge over most teams, but I think today they rode their luck, because if England equalised, I would have strongly favoured England to come out on top, but they're in the last 4 again, and they're probably the team to beat now.
Didi said they didn't have much else. Once Mbappe was nullified, they didn't have much else. Is that down to what England did today? Did players underperform, or did England just have their number?
I think a bit of both. Dembele first half looked lively. Griezmann looked very lively. He was picking up great positions. Passes were excellent. His movement was really good. Dembele was the same. He was a threat. Second half of that change, and I think England were able to not just stop Mbappe, they were able to stop Griezmann and Dembele, and Foden came into the game in an attacking sense. So they were trying to take care of them. So in the second half, England had that attacking kind of prowess about them, and France were trying to stop that. So I think their game became about stopping England, so it nullified them slightly. I think France still have wonderful players, and these are the 2 best teams in the tournament for me. These have been, I think, and these are the teams with 2 biggest, strongest squads. They're going to go we're going to go all the way. And I think this was going to decide who was going to win the tournament eventually. Well, it was always going to be into this game, I always felt. So France to win it, I think they're nailed on.
Nailed on?
Yeah, I'd say.
You've got to find ways to win games, and if you look at this England team, they had 18 they're winning against Croatia in the semis, lose that game. Against Italy last year in the Euros in the final, Italy was there for the taking. They find a way to get beat. Today they are the better side. They find a way to get beat. And I always say, good teams or outstanding teams find ways to win games. Average teams find ways not to win or lose games.
So are you calling England average then?
Well, for all the talent they've got a semi-final, they've got a final, and now a quarter-final to show for. If you don't win a trophy, a big title with that group of players, they won't bring these players through in the next 10, 15 years. This is, when they were talking in my time, they were talking about the golden generation. They were nowhere near a final in them days. And these guys, they got close, but you've got to go that final step, because they had chances.
It sounds like you're leaning towards the blame game.
No, I'm not blaming anything. I just say in football or in life, you only get so many chances. And if you do get them chances, you've got to take them. And this French team got a chance to defend the title.
They've got to take it.
And you always have games in a tournament where you're up against it, but you've got to find a way to pull through. And these guys do it. And this is what England didn't do in the last 3 tournaments. And this is why they're going home again
The best teams win when they're not playing well. That's always been the case. And France have shown that even when Kylian Mbappe, who is arguably the best player in the world, doesn't perform and gets cut out, Dembele doesn't have a great game, Griezmann's second half doesn't have a great game. Someone like Olivier Giroud, who, whoever goes on the radar, he's a top goal scorer in French history, comes up with a goal. He missed a golden opportunity beforehand, but then it comes back in again. He gets his head on it, gets a deflection actually of Harry Maguire, probably puts it into the back of the net, but they find a way to win games, and that's the difference. England have been in times where they haven't found the way, they haven't found the resources, where all that talent on the pitch, they just haven't been able to see it through.
If you ask me, which player played well tonight for France?
Which player played well tonight for France, did he?
I couldn't name you one. I couldn't give you one.
Can I suggest the goalkeeper at
Hugo
times?
Lloris.
Yeah, the keeper, yeah. Sorry, we forgot the goalkeeper. I think the keeper kept him in the game, made a couple of saves. I think most of the saves he made, he's got to make. But I think he was a calming influence today. But that says it all. I think from the outfield players, I don't think anybody stood out or had a particular...
standout performer, is there? No,
Okay.
one
But
player.
let's go back to the nub of the issue which you raised, Diddy, and that is that England can't win the really big games. They find a way to lose them. And yet they carved out the opportunities time and time again, and they had the best chance to draw a level, a few minutes on the clock, and the man who has scored more penalties than any other player from any country in history outside of a shootout had the opportunity to do it again and score his 5th ever World Cup penalty goal.
Honestly, there's probably not a player in the tournament you'd want taking his penalty rather than Harry Kane, and that goes across any team, any country. Like it's a dead. So we saw it straight away, and we're like, that's an absolute stonewall penalty. He steps up, does what he tries to do always, generates a power with his quick steps, fires into the corner, but this time just leans back too much and he fires it over and wide. He passed to Lloris, he goes the right way, but you know, for him and what he's used to doing and his technical ability in those areas, you expect him to score those chances. And you know, for whatever reason, he's got it wrong, and that's just such a fine line between winning and losing, and that's the moment. Then, you know, Harry Kane, is he going to be a player that's going to go on and be known for the best goal scorer but never won anything in his career because he's at Spurs and now they're going to achieve anything, and is he at England they're never going to achieve anything? Who knows? But you know, when you miss chances like that, your team can't go on and win, can they?
OK, there's so much more to talk about in this. So England are out of the World Cup, but the current champions, they roll on to win, but they managed to not win it. Now, you were saying that has been the England trend. We showed Harry Kane miss a penalty, but of course Marcus Rashford right at the very, very end, and you thought this one was going to sneak in.
Well, there was a free kick of Luke Shaw in the first half where Maguire does ever so well. He gets brought down by Coman, where Lloris goes behind the wall when the ball is struck, and you've got a wall there, 4 or 5 lads, 6 foot tall. There's a guy behind it, means they can jump. And if you watch the replay now, if we see it, as soon as he hits it, I'm not sure whether there's another replay, as soon as Rashford hits it, he makes one step to his right to go behind the wall. Now, if you've got a wall, 4 or 5 people, 6 foot, 6'2", and they jump a foot and a half, it's impossible to get the ball over the wall and back down. And there's a guy behind as well, so they can jump. So all he has to do is stay in his corner. And as soon as he hits it, he makes one step to the right, which leaves his corner exposed. And if this is on target, it's in. There's no way in a million years he's going to save that.
No chance he's getting back for
it.
it.
And it's his fault. If that goes in, he's the one to blame. And I don't know, we've got goalkeeping coaches, there's so many things. You see it time and time again where they go behind the wall and they get beat in the keeper's corner. And you know, we've got this guy behind the wall now to make sure they can jump. I just don't get it. And again, I said straight away.
You said straight away,
if he hits it into the keeper's corner, because he will make that step, if he hits it on target, it's in. And he didn't even need to hit it that hard or that high.
He hits it with such venom, doesn't he? You could almost try and place it there. Listen, we're all experts sitting here talking about it, but you have to admire his courage because he goes for it. He doesn't hold back. He absolutely tries to ping into that corner, and it's very close to going in.
OK, let's look at the goals that did go in the second half. So we've already seen poor Harry Kane. I don't think anybody wished that on any player across any sport. But he did, of course, already score his 4th ever World Cup penalty outside of a shootout earlier on.
Yeah, and it's honestly, this is exactly what he tries to do. Saka, who came to life in the second half as well, drives inside, gets taken out. It's a clear-cut penalty. And I think it's Tchouameni who scores the goal for France, takes him down, just drive aside. It's a silly tackle, lunges in, leaves his leg dangling as well. And Saka, who, like I said, the second half, and Kane, this is standard procedure for him. Quick feet, steps in, smashing the corner. Lloris has no chance. It's a fantastic penalty, and that's exactly where he's going for in the second one. But this is a wonderful strike.
But hadn't they attacked it as well? Hadn't England come out determined that they were going to make something of it?
The whole second half, they were the better team. They were the most dominant side. They were very unfortunate not to get something from this game, to get through to extra time penalties and not even to win it, because I think like Didi said, for probably after 15, 20 minutes of the first half, they were the better side.
You have already questioned one goalkeeper, and now you're going to raise questions about Jordan Pickford ahead, not on the actual goal from Giroud, but what led to it.
Well, he's somebody who's always into the players' faces. Every time a shot goes on goal, and it really does my head in, because every time there's a shot on goal, that's why he's there, to save a ball. I think he's got to catch that ball. There's no pace on the ball, and he kind of has to generate pace to get it away. And I think the reason he pushes it out for a corner is because there's no pace on the ball. Because if he pushes it sideways, it may still be alive, the ball. And from the corner, it gets clear, comes back in. Giroud gets up. It's a fantastic cross by Griezmann. It's a brilliant cross to attack. We know how strong Giroud is on the near post. It actually comes off Maguire's arm here. No chance for Pickford, but I think we see it here that it comes off Maguire's arm. I think the corner could or should have been avoided if he caught that ball.
Gareth Southgate has been in charge of England for 6 years now. His only previous managerial experience at a senior level before that was 3 years with Middlesbrough, in which time they got relegated from the Premier League. But with England, he's led them to a World Cup semi-final, World Cup quarter-final now, and of course the final of Euro 2020 last year. Is it a successful reign?
Ish. Well, if you look at what he's done, he's took the team further in certain tournaments than they've not ever been before, but in recent years. But then again, losing a final is as good as losing in the last 16. And was it a success?
Did he get the big calls correct at the big moments?
I think it would be harsh if you call it a failure. But I would neither call it a failure nor a success.
It's progression for England. I think missed opportunity not winning the Euros. I think mistakes were made in that, for not going for that game, because Italy were there for the taking. They were on their knees. They could have won that game with the talent they had on the bench, and he didn't use it. I don't think he can be really faulted in today's performance and the way he set up. He played a four at the black. He played three in midfield.
Would you have liked to see more Grealish throughout the tournament?
Possibly, but I don't think Grealish has come into it in as much form as the other players. Foden, he got himself into the team and he kept him in the team. Saka has been brilliant for them. We questioned Henderson coming in, whether he wanted a midfield in that position, but Henderson in the last two games has actually performed really well, and he's done the job that they needed, especially the game today. So I think today's selection, and then he brought players on in attacking sense. But over the course of it, there's missed opportunities where they probably should have won something.
OK, unfortunately, that is all we have time for.